I very strongly feel that everybody goes through ups and downs in life.
What I realize is generally being around people usually helps a lot. Be it playing a game of football or a game of cricket or something, you are in a company with other people, and that's the best distraction.
One very important lesson that I learned is first of all, I got to know about myself. I think that's one of the very biggest lessons that I learned.
People are able to recover from the distress in a more healthy manner and are able to function more normally in their daily lives and able to hold down a job and be stable with relationships and generally the life is a little more well rounded. And I feel if someone's not able to do that, if the fluctuations stray so far away from the normal that you're not able to function doing simple activities like eating on time, and your sleep cycle is all messed up, and you're not able to do simple chores like cleaning your room, doing your laundry, taking phone calls, or these sorts of things. So when it starts to affect your life on a very personal or a very deep level rather, where it impairs your functionality and over a period of time, I think that is a major red flag, and that is when you need to see somebody professionally.
Once you overcome a mental challenge or a illness, you automatically probably get a lot of confidence that you can actually overcome a lot of other things in life, right? And the sooner it happens in your life, a lot of things that are usually challenges over the course of your life become a lot easier to deal with.
I don't know exactly when it began, but I remember this very particular event. I was in my first year of bachelor's, and there was this fest that was going on, a cultural fest that was going on. And usually, when you're in your first year, your fest is supposed to be something very special because it's the first time you're, going there. That's when I had my first panic attack during that event. So I sort of slowly started seeing that I'm, withdrawing from the crowd, that I'm coming out of that. I was in a different zone, like I was just pulling away myself, and I felt like I have to run away from that place. And I felt like not running away from that place will just, I'll just die.
They are not given that emotional support. Maybe they are taken care of their physical needs, maybe their food or their clothing has been taken care of, or their medicines have been taken care of, but lack of emotional bonding, as well as lack of time being spent, so lack of communication probably has been there, very prevalent, I feel.
I've had a relatively comfortable life. At the time when I realized that I should probably start seeking professional help, objectively my life was going fine. I had a good circle of friends, I had a decent job, my family was always supportive and all of that. But I had this very nagging feeling like every morning when I would wake up, I just did not have the energy to get through the day at all. It was um I wouldn't even turn on the light in my room. I would just like be sleeping all day, but like not sleep. I would be awake, but I would just not have the energy to leave my bed, and that continued for a few days. And I was trying really hard to think what is making me feel so sad, and why am I feeling this very strange thing? It's never been this intense before, and I couldn't really think of an objective reason of why it was happening to me. And then I figured out that this doesn't seem very healthy. That went on for almost like 10 days at a stretch, and day after day. And eventually, I couldn't even go to work anymore. I started taking days off on the grounds that I was sick, but I didn't know how else to describe it. So, yeah, that started happening. And I realized that it's really affecting the way I operate. So around that time, I met a therapist for the first time. I met a counselor for the first time, and yeah, I guess that was the beginning of uh, realizing that it's probably not as simple as, oh, like I was just normally sad. This is probably something deeper.
I sincerely think that a lot of these illnesses can be, mitigated, or a person can, overcome all of these when he knows that he's not alone, right? There are friends or there are people who care for him and, uh, can help him make sure that he feels not alone. I know that this was something that I felt was the most important factor of me overcoming whatever I was going through, and I still, take their help, I take the support, and in turn, help other people who are going through similar things, right? So once you know how bad it is, you realize how bad it is for other people, and then you automatically try to help them out in whatever way you can. So this is something that that helped quite a bit in mitigating whatever it was to be taken.
I think over 2 years ago, when I was going through a lot of turmoil in my personal life and my professional life, and it had gotten very, very stressful. And yeah, so things were sort of not working out for me in any aspect, and it just led to a huge crash.
So my name is John. I studied engineering, electronics, and I work for Amazon. As a manager, I manage a team of about 17 people, and so since childhood, I have quite a few challenges or brushes with mental health. Of course, I did not know it back then, and I got educated about these very recently, maybe in the last 6 to 5 years, and something that was something that I dealt with is as simple as OCD to not wanting to meet people, depression, which is probably very very common, but nobody kind of is educated about it.
Well, mental health is a subject which deals with emotions, behaviors, and thoughts. So, in simple words, I think a lot of our expressions are a combination of our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. So, a subject which deals with these three angles, as well as which deals with somebody's personality, somebody's thought process, which can be influenced by the past, which can be influenced by the present, which can be influenced by the external environment, which can be influenced by your genetics. So it is a complex subject, but it is one of the most important dimensions of health. Because if you look at WHO, the definition of health is physical, mental, and social well being. So, undoubtedly, in short, I would say mental health is a combination of thoughts, emotions, and behavior, and is one of the most important dimensions of health.
Hi, I'm Hiranmai, and I write for a living. Professionally, I work in the domain of content and communications. And apart from that, personally, I try to write short stories, poems, and trying to be an artist.
And during that Fun Friday event, there were like around 10 to 15 people. And it was a very small event, like you just do some fun Friday activity. And I didn't want to go to that event, to that thing. It was just 15 people. I mean, it's no big deal. So I just went there and I sat in a corner, and that's when the palpitation started again. And then we were supposed to do an activity. We were divided into teams, and I told my team members that, I don't want to be the just give me something which is very easy because I'm very scared, and maybe I'll just suck at it or something like that. So they gave me a very simple task, that is in the end just put one glass on the top. And because I was there and I felt like all eyes are on me, when I was putting that, my hands were literally shivering like this. And when I put that glass on top, everything fell down. And I, I don't know, that moment, I just felt like I was, I don't know where, and I felt like everybody's looking at me. I felt like everybody's just concentrating on me, and I just ran away from there, went to the washroom, started crying and all of that. I think that's when I understood the seriousness of this.
Well, I'm Dr. Virinchi Sharma. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and I'm a director of Manasa Hospital in Secunderabad. I've been practicing here for almost a decade now, and a formal practice after finishing my postgraduate, it's been like 6 long years. So this is who I am. So mental health issues also have emergencies, and there are a few conditions which, if untreated, could be life threatening also. So, if you look at emergencies in psychiatry, I think one of the most important things is some person having suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideations, or an immediate suicide attempt. Aggressive behaviors, like I said sometime back, self harm or harm to others, these are also again emergencies. So, frankly talking, there are a lot of conditions which actually need emergency help, and that is the reason why we see a lot of psychiatric hospitals emerging out with 24-hour services these days.
So I don't think a lot of people actually knew that I was probably going through something. There were probably very few people, or just couple of people who were very close to me, that realized that there was something wrong with me, and actually did actually check up on me or talk to me or ask me how I was doing, right? And these were the people who actually helped me in getting through whatever I was going through. Right from childhood, I think I was pretty incredibly lucky or blessed to actually have good friends.
Well, because there's a lot of stigma around it, I see a lot of people not wanting to seek mental health, or feel inferior about having a mental health issue. So I always give an example. You buy a new car and you put it in the garage. There is no repairs. You start taking it out. Somebody comes and hits your car, so there's a dent. You need to keep filling the fuel. You need to keep taking it to the service station. Similarly, it is with your brain. When it is inside the garage not being used, there are no issues. When you start using them, that is when the issues come. So, if anybody is having a mental health issue, you need to feel proud that you are using your brain, and that is why you are getting an issue. And I always feel worried when somebody says I don't have a mental health issue, because back in my mind I keep thinking probably you're not using your brain enough. So people with mental health issues should not feel bad. I think it is as common as any other health issue. You can be having a cardiac issue, you can be having a muscle pain, you can be having a stomach pain. Similarly, it is a pain or a cry of the brain. And the best part is, with the technology, we have recent advances in medicines, we have newer methods of treating. So all of them has made it much more simpler, and people with mental health issues are no way inferior. Once they start getting treated, they are bringing back the capacity of their brain to what it was before the illness, the pre-morbid condition. So undoubtedly, I think all of us should start accepting it a little more, and go forward with it with some positivity.
I was very resistant to going out and seeking help because part of me didn't think it was that serious. And I was like, okay, it'll pass, that's what you keep hearing, that okay, like try to do something different with your life and it's gonna pass. When it didn't pass, then I started avoiding it more actively for a brief bit of time because a part of me didn't want to know what was wrong. And it just felt like this huge cloud on my head, like the when it came to wanting to find out what's going on. But then eventually it came to the point where I couldn't not take help anymore. It came to the point where I had to absolutely seek a counselor for my peace of mind at least. And that's when I realized that you can't necessarily always stop yourself from feeling a certain way, but there are things that you learn to do in which you just cope better. Like you try to stay away from your triggers and you try to meditate, and that's been like a huge help to me. Like when I started meditating, doing guided meditation sessions with my therapist, it really went a long way.
Well, one, inside the hospital, uh, I make sure that there is a lot of empathy when we treat them. I think one of the most important aspects that a mental health professional should be having is the ability to listen and the ability to give a lot of time, because in today's day-to-day practice, with increasing workload, I see that somewhere the duration that a doctor gives to the patient is less, and that somewhere reduces the quality of the treatment that we do. And when it comes to inpatient treatment, I think it's not just we as a psychiatrist, but there should be a team where there are clinical psychologists, health workers, occupational therapists, nursing staff who are well trained, who make sure that the patient is constantly spoken to, the patient is constantly being observed for symptomatology. Transparency is maintained. Second, the patient is also a little more comfortable. He feels that his people are around him, and that's an important thing.
think everything was going probably well in my mind, and suddenly in engineering third year, we had one of the really close friends commit suicide because she was depressed, and that triggered a whole lot of emotions and a lot of feelings that were repressed. And I realized that I was coping with whatever I was going through in a very negative way of burying it and trying to forget it. Right, and for the next couple of years, I tried to embrace whatever I was feeling. Let it all out, and try to make sure that because of what I was dealing with, my people surrounding me were not affected by it. Right. So mental health is something that not only affects you and but also affects a lot of people that are closest to you.
Okay, so when I'm getting a little anxious, I usually use this stress ball to just calm myself down, and I do some mandala coloring for just calming myself down. I listen to music, Tibetan music, which is also really helpful. I read a lot of books on psychology. I read a lot of things on mental health. And recently, I also started a blog, and I content write in that blog, and I started an Instagram handle to spread about mental health awareness.
Something that I would actually like to repeat because it's very, very important is always ask for help. Never be ashamed of asking for help. And because that is something that's a mistake that I made. I was too proud, or I thought I could do it all by myself. And I realized that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength because you're accepting that you are dealing with an issue and you're making an effort, making an effort to be better, or to help, and even giving an opportunity to others to help you. Right. So keep your pride aside, keep your ego aside, and always ask for help when you need it.
Second, I think the whole fact about thinking that you're not alone, that really helps, because I felt like I was alone, because back then at least there was not so much awareness about what I was going through. So yeah, that you're not alone. That's the advice.
Well, whenever I'm going through a difficult time, I try to sketch that headspace, and I feel like I'm feeling like a certain color, or so there's quite a few things here where, so this one for example was for like anxiety and how I feel when I'm anxious. Like there's an exterior shell that is very calm and people don't really know what's going on, but inside it's all raging and it's all haywire and it's chaos, and I wanted to show that. So yeah, and when I was really really low, like those paintings were what came out, because I was really feeling like tomorrow cannot be happy. So yeah, and painting helps a lot, and so does writing and journaling. So doing anything creative has been like a great form of catharsis for me. So yeah, I guess art is very helpful that way when it comes to mental health.
So, education in schools is one important aspect. I think digital media is playing a very important role here. So, I think making a lot more videos and awareness programs about this, and we should be able to cater it to all ages. So, we have to explain them, to different ages in different ways, so that they understand that these could be symptoms of a mental health issue, and these can be treated, and these have different means of working upon. So I think bringing in these aspects is something that is extremely important, and that is when I think the change is going to start, and we'll see a lot more betterment in the recovery rates of mental health.
I can give great advice to people who are going through troubles, but I find it very difficult to follow through it for my own self. But yeah, if there is any advice, then I would be like, be kind and be patient, and reach out. Don't isolate yourself. Talk to a professional. Talk to your friends, and find safe spaces. And yeah, I mean, I would really like to say that don't let it bog you down so much and make you hopeless. There's always a way out, and try to seek that way out.
So, mental health is an important aspect, and mental health can be taken care of even when you're sitting at home. So, make sure that your physical activity is happening. Even inside the house, there are a lot of exercises that you can do. Meditation, making sure that you're eating well, And at the same time, I think sleeping and eating on time is something very important.
Mental challenges feel like hurricanes in life. Sometimes they might be so small that you don't feel anything, and sometimes they might be so huge that you feel so much pain. Sometimes there's a shoulder to lean on, and sometimes people might not be around you. But remember, you are the only person who can help yourself. I can tell that the challenges we face are not so easy. It is not going to be okay. The things that we undergo can become very hard. You have to drown yourself completely into the problem and start coming out of it. You have to be strong, no matter how deep the pain is. When all this happens, you finally start finding a way out. In the end, when you let yourself finally feel the pain and battle it, remember and keep reminding yourself that you are only bruised but never broken.